What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of my HLTV Fantasy. Today we are looking at PGL Bucharest 2025 group stages. This is what I had cooked up for Lisbon's playoffs. Pretty much went as expected, with Eternal Fire losing straight away. I believe it was to Mouse, and then Vitality and Mouse playing in the finals. Um, the only thing is that like Rops and Apex didn't play very well. Like they actually got I think negative ratings even for playoffs. Probably a Saivu lineup would have been best. Jimmy also wasn't the best. Like none of the individuals were the best. But because I went for the winning teams, it was just kind of okay. Yeah, this would have been like the better lineup. With Zaiwu and then going for some cheaper players from Mouse. Yeah, that's gonna happen sometimes. Um, but yeah, let's go to, and it was still like a, what was it? Top 1%. But a top 12%, I believe it was. Yeah, top 12%. So pretty okay with that. For Bucharest, we're talking about another Swiss stage, it seems. Opening matches are the most important thing in this. I was waiting to make this video. Essentially, I was waiting for a specific news article to come out, meaning that Suhei would be joining Liquid. This is what I was waiting for, and because honestly, I feel like this could be a very good chance to gamble on Liquid. I think this will actually make Liquid a lot better, and they have a pretty good first matchup against Legacy. I just feel like they are a worthy candidate at least to look at, especially with the prices that they're gonna be in here with. JK is still here in the HLTV Fantasy, but he's gonna be replaced by Shuhei, 100%. I mean, as long as it's here. Just making sure Liquid will debut at PGL Bucharest. Yes, great. Other teams, I mean, the obvious favorites are teams like Mongols against 3D Max. Like Mongols is one of the overall favorites for this tournament, I would say. But 3D Max is a pretty tough first opponent. Other potential favorites, Eternal Fire, of course. They should be able to handle Pain. Maybe G2, but I'm not very high on them. Maybe FaZe if they get their shit together. And they're playing Astralis, which I think they should handily beat. VP versus Rare Atom, that's one of those better early matchups as well, where I think VP is potentially an okay pick even. I'm not that high on like Falcons personally, but I could see someone wanting to go for them. But yeah, I think Liquid for me is something I want to go for just because of the prices. Like Twist's non-IGL for 208k can be very good. Naf, now that he's probably gonna have better roles or more of his own roles, I think for 195 seems very good. Nerd's obviously very consistent, but the price is a bit high. Ultimate, I don't know what to expect from him for this kind of event. He's a big gamble, and then obviously Shuhei. I would say Shuhei would be priced around this range anyway, so I don't think it's a steal at this price to get Shuhei. So I think Naf and Twist is who I want to kind of build my team around. Usually I've been picking Mongols quite a lot. However, I think with these prices and with their opening matchup against 3D Max, I would maybe favor some other teams. I think Eternal Fire personally is like the safe bet team to go for, and because I'm already kind of gambling with Liquid, that could be the team to go for here. Let's actually check. Yeah, most picked players, mostly Mongols, Eternal Fire, some FaZe. Yeah. I personally think something like Major with basically any other player. Xantares has been struggling a bit with like health related things. I think Voxic is just so consistent nowadays. I just really like Voxic. 202k left in the bank, like we can fill that in a lot of ways. I think I made this lineup earlier with like Fame in this slot. I think VP could be a great angle. It's actually a hard, like, because there's no like obvious favorites like Vitality or Spirit or even Mouse in this, or even Navi. Like these kinds of teams aren't in this event. Becomes a bit more difficult because a lot of matches are slightly more I would say 50-50ish. I don't hate going for the Mongols if you want to, just because of like their opening matchup is a bit tough, but they are still like #1 seed, so they're gonna have easy matchups like after that. But also Eternal Fire is like second seed, and they have an easier first matchup. And I expect both of those teams to make it. So maybe I want to have like my 5th player from the Mongols. Then it would probably be Techno. I like Techno as a cheap option almost always. It's hard. I do think this duo is almost locked for me, just because I feel like it's worthy of a gamble, and it makes logical sense for them to have a bit of an uptick in performance here, based on the Shuhei move. I'm not really going towards any of these teams personally. Just the matchups are too difficult to predict. I don't want to go Falcons. Someone on FaZe could be a decent pick. Like if I downgrade to Jota, 208k, I wouldn't go Hunter. There's no one in this price range that I really want. Like I don't want to go for the expensive players from VP. I don't want to spend for like on Vicadia either. Like 197 doesn't seem worth it at all to me. I think Major almost has to be in just to make up the money. Like I don't think you can do this. 179. I guess you can go Kerrigan with this. Non-major. I'm not considering these players, I don't think. Yeah. So like Kerrigan isn't the worst idea, but I also don't like picking these very cheap players that I expect very little from. In this kind of format where they're gonna play at least 3 games. I'm not very high on Kerrigan here. And I am always happy picking. I haven't really been disappointed by Major so far. I think he's just a solid player for his price almost always. I think Techno might just be the player to have then as like 5th, your 5th. Even though their first matchup is a bit tougher. But the fact that they're still seeded first, it should help them. Yeah. I think this might be the lineup. I'll just check that there's no clear upgrades, for example, for Liquid. And you could go Ultimate instead of like Twists. And then you'd have some more. Do you have enough? You probably have enough for Mezzinho. You do that. Instead of Twists and then Mezzinho. You don't have enough for Hunter, but I don't really want Hunter. He just has that one map on Inferno. Or was it Mirage? I think it was Mirage. He was playing very well in that one series. I don't like this as much. But yeah, I think we are pretty locked with this lineup. With Twists, then Techno, and then Woxic Major. I'm just happy with it. A 3k float is fine. I always feel bad floating any money, but I think 3k is honestly okay. This is a pretty quick video as well, just because I don't know. I feel like I was just waiting for the Shuhei news to drop, just to have confirmation that he's gonna be in there, for Liquid. And once it came, I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna go for them. I hope that it's gonna work out. Role wise, what is like Nav's best role? Probably support, right? I think Twist's roles might change more than Nav's based on this. Yeah, support here seems good. And Major is almost always gonna be eco-friendly. Twists could be like a lot of things here. I guess he still has, like, I think Techno's probably headshots. 3250. I don't think anything else makes sense on him. Yeah, that's fine. I like that. How good is Woxic? Woxic actually ops a lot, okay? That's also great for boosters. Yeah, that was my kind of impression as well, that Woxic is one of those oppers who still uses the op quite a lot. 0.37 is very high. And then Twist's probably multi. Multi is probably like the safest bet. Either multi or defender. I'll go multi. I like multi. Is it best of ones at the start or just best of threes all the way through? I think it's best of threes. It is best of threes. Okay, so we can just use the best boosters here pretty much. I would say AST probably NAF. Woxic's the best. Yeah, we can do that against Pain. I'm okay. With that pick, just some good boosters on players, to be honest. Pistol, Twists is still Pistol God. Aimbot on Techno. 3D Max doesn't have Joko anymore. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else on there with like super high headshots. I don't think there's anyone with that high an X. Like, it's always tough with Mezzini on your team, but I think that's okay. We're probably gonna use it there anyways at some stage. Avenger's gonna be Woxic eventually. Assist is gonna be Nath eventually, but I'd rather play it in a later round. Probably we can just use the Farmer versus Pain. And then Nath is gonna be a bit of a difficult one in terms of boosters. Guess Saver's good on him as well. So Saver, assist. Something else probably gonna have to be used on him. Cannon fodder. I'd rather not use cannon fodder against the Legacy. Maybe it's assist. Maybe it's assist here. Sure. It's got a very high trigger rate. Let's just hope we don't get screwed over on that one. I think that's it. I'm actually excited for this tournament a little, just to see how Liquid plays, because some people have been saying that Liquid's gonna be like a top 4-ish team even. I'm not sure if I believe they're gonna be top 4. That's quite high to me. But I could see them being solid top 7 at the very least, like solidifying their position in there. Like if you look at the complete ranking now, currently they are 10th. I think they do jump over. I would personally put Mongols higher than G2. I would also put Liquid probably. I think essentially substitute G2 with Liquid in this top 7. I think that's pretty much what I expect of Liquid based on this move. They have the potential to make it to even higher ranks, but personally, I'm not that high on them, but I still am high enough that they're gonna make like playoffs here and be worth it for this money. If you enjoy this kind of content, please remember to leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.